Okay, guys, let's get started with a quick review.
So we are successfully wrapping up our first virtual learning unit, which is changes to the ecosystem. I want to go through a couple of slides to review some information for you before you take your quiz. So let's get started. Here are some key vocabulary terms that will help you through this unit. So the environment is the living and non-living things around an organism. The impact is a direct effect or change. And when we use this word, we're specifically talking about the impact that an event has on the environment. So for example, the building of highways is going to impact the environment or ecosystem where it's being built, meaning that there might not be enough room for the animals that currently live there, or it might kill off some of their food sources. Here we have population. Population is all of the interacting members of the same species in an area. So if I'm asking about the population of birds in a specific area, I'm wanting to know how many birds are living there. Overpopulation is an increase in the number of individuals of a given species over what its ecosystem can sustain. So this is when there is too many of that specific type of species. In what ways can the environment be negatively impacted? So one way is pollution. Pollution is everywhere. Humans are polluting resources such as air, water, and soil daily. The release of chemicals into the air and water contaminates our rivers and oceans. So we talked about transportation causing pollution to the air. We talked about the dumping of trash and chemicals into water can cause harm to the environment, and also land by trash landfills and just different ways that humans are polluting the environments around us. Another way that it's negatively impacting is loss of habitat. So habitat loss poses a great threat to species. Forests, lakes, and plains are disappearing quickly as they are cleared to make way for housing, pipelines, or agriculture. Animals that may have lived in the area will either have to migrate to another area or die off. So we talked about how construction is one of the big reasons that we cause harm to an environment. And as you can see here in the pictures, the environment that animals are used to living in is being cleared for the purpose of humans, or for the benefit of humans, and they're forced to either migrate, adapt, or die. So another way that is negatively impactful is overhunting. So nearly 1 in 4 mammals is in serious decline due to human activities. Examples include elephants, deer, and rhinoceroses. So because people are hunting quicker than these animals are able to reproduce, some of them are in danger of going extinct. Overhunting has an effect on both terrestrial and aquatic environments. So this is land animals and water animals. So the way that overhunting is harmful to aquatic animals is because of overfishing. Both disrupt the balance of the environment. Both predators and prey of the hunted animals can change. So not only by hunting these animals are we affecting the population of that species, but also the animals that depend on eating those. So if we're taking too many fish, what other animals are impacted because of that? Animals that are eating the fish. So another way is the introduction of invasive species. An invasive species is one that is not native to an ecosystem and can cause harm. It can harm the environment or cause death. It can become a predator to native species or competition for the same prey. So that last part I just want to break down for a second. So if you're to bring a type of animal into an environment, it can either become a predator, meaning that it starts to eat or consume certain animals that were already living in that environment, or it can be competition. So if it's in competition, there might be other animals that were native to that environment that are now having to compete with this new species for food, and there's not as much food for everybody to go around. So eventually that's going to have some harmful results. Great job today, guys. Make sure you look underneath the YouTube video in the description box to find Miss Broberg's link or Mr. Ibata's link to take your quiz. Have a great weekend.
Cambios medioambientales. Vocabulario clave. 4 palabras que van a necesitar que saber: medio ambiente, población, impacto y sobrepoblación. Medio ambiente son los seres vivos y objetos inertes que están alrededor de un organismo. Población, todos los miembros de la misma especie que interactúan en una área. Impacto, tener un efecto directo o cambio. Y sobrepoblación, un aumento en el número de individuos de una especie cada de encima de lo que ese ecosistema sostener. ¿De qué forma se puede impactar negativamente el medio ambiente? La primera es contaminación. La contaminación está en todas las partes. Los seres humanos contaminan los recursos como el aire, el agua y el suelo de manera diaria. La liberación de sustancias químicas al aire y el agua contamina nuestros ríos y océanos. El siguiente cambio va a ser pérdida de hábitat. La pérdida de hábitat representa una gran amenaza para las especies. Los bosques, lagos y llanuras desaparecen rápidamente a medida que se despejan para dar paso a viviendas, oleoductos o agricultura. Los animales que quizás viven en el aire migrarán a otra área o morirán. El tercer cambio va a ser caza excesiva. Cerca de 1 de cada 4 mamíferos está en grave decadencia debido a las actividades humanas. Los ejemplos incluyen elefantes, venados y rinocerontes. La caza excesiva afecta tanto los ambientes terrestres como acuáticos. Pesca excesiva. Ambas alteran el equilibrio del medio ambiente. Tanto los depredadores como las presas de los animales cazadores pueden cambiar. Eso es cuando la gente matan más que necesitan y se acaban a unas especies. El último cambio es una introducción de especies invasoras. Una especie invasora es aquella que no es nativa de un ecosistema y causa daño. Puede dañar el medio ambiente o causar la muerte. Puede convertirse en un depredador de especies nativas o en competencia por la misma presa. Es como un ejemplo, un animal o una planta que traen de otro lugar y lo ponen en el medio ambiente. Por ese animal o planta va a estar en competencia con los animales o las plantas de ese ecosistema. Ahora, si no es nativa, puede hacer mucho daño. Y es lo que necesitan que tener de acuerdo.
Great job today, guys. Make sure you look underneath the YouTube video in the description box to find Miss Broberg's link or Mr. Ibata's link to take your quiz. Have a great weekend.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Happy Wednesday. I want to give a few shout outs for students who have completed every single assignment up to now. I'm going to go through it kind of quickly because there are several of you, and I am happy that there is. Joelle, Jesse, Jared, Caroline, Jason, Roman, Duce, Tristan, Alyssa, Amelie, Jocelyn, David, Haley, Bobby, Addie, Emma, Amory, Halo, Maddox, Sam, Auntie, Angelica, Anthony, Penny, Nicholas, Isaiah Valdez, Aaliyah, Devin, Aubrey, Joshua Frey, Ambrose, James, Elijah Martinez, Jazzy, Danielle, Cassie, Tanasuk, Adolf, and Madi. Good job, guys. You have completed every single assignment I have on quizzes, and I have all your grades. If I did not call your name, it's because you may be missing one or two. If you're not sure which ones you're missing, go ahead and shoot me a text message so that I can let you know what you're missing. Yesterday, I did text a few people and let them know what they were missing. Again, if I didn't call your name and you feel like you have completed everything, please text me so that I can tell you what I'm missing. Let's get started. Okay, so this week we're talking, our Friday and Monday, we were talking about plot, right? So our elements of plot are exposition, which is just our introduction, rising action, climax, which is our turning point, falling action, and resolution. So today and Friday, we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're still going to be reading and answering questions, only instead of working on a short story with 3 questions, we're going to work on a longer story that has 8 questions. But we're going to split up those questions. We're going to do 4 questions today and then 4 questions on Friday. So I want you to go ahead and open up your book to page 132. Okay, so on page 132, I want you to go ahead and write down RNAG, RQPC. Now, it's going to go a little bit different where I'm not going to expect you to do the second R today. Okay, so today you're going to do RNAG, and then we're going to do 1 through 4, and then of course proof and check. And then on Friday, you're going to do the second R, and then 5 through 8, and then proof and check. Okay, so right now I want you to pause the video and I want you to complete RNAG. Do not reread. As you're reading, I need you to make sure that you are thinking about the elements of plot. Which one would be your introduction? What would be your rising action, your climax, your falling action, your resolution, and label it as you read. Okay, so now you're going to check off R, and then I'm sorry, I forgot to write down NAG, but check off R and make sure you've completed NAG. Remember, this second R here is going to be for Friday. Okay, so we're not doing that right now. We're going to skip to the questions, which is on page 135. So flip there for me. All right, so let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says, how do paragraphs 8 and 9 contribute to the rising action? So they're telling me where I need to go read, and they're telling me how does that contribute to the rising action. Stop for a second and think, what is the rising action? So remember, the rising action are the events that are in the beginning and middle of the story, but they lead up to the climax, okay? So it helps us understand the characters and why the problem or conflict occurs. So they're asking me to go back to paragraphs 8 and 9. So everybody go back to 8 and 9 and reread those two paragraphs. So I already know that my proof is going to be paragraphs 8 and 9. So make sure you write that down. All right, let's look at the answer choices. A, they introduce how often Martina's soccer team practices and competes. B, they provide details about why Martina's parents enjoy watching soccer. C, they describe Martina's relationship with the other players on her soccer team. D, they explain why Martina feels concerned about her skills as a soccer player. There are a ton of keywords in your answer choices. Make sure you're highlighting them, labeling your silly answer, your distractor, and getting your correct answer. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says Martina's conversation with her mother shows that she. So they're talking about the conversation when Martina was talking with her mother. What does it show? That she, F, thinks her daughter does not pay attention. G, considers her daughter to be too slow. H, wants her daughter to be successful. Or J, hopes her daughter's team wins the next game. Go back and find the conversation between Martina and her mother. All right, number 3. What is a theme of the text? Theme. I don't remember what theme means. Theme. The message. Remember that. So they're asking you, what was the lesson? What was the life lesson that we can get out of this story? Think about what the main character may have learned. A, physical activity is important. B, friends support one another through difficult times. C, hard work will be rewarded. Or D, trying new things can lead to unexpected results. The last one for today, number 4, the text's point of view helps the reader better understand. So think about the point of view. Who is telling this story, okay? And how does that help us understand? Or what does it help us understand? F, only Angie's actions and responses. My key word, only. G, the events of the game as told by an outside narrator. That means it would be third person. H, only Martina's mother's thoughts and feelings. Only. J, the actions and feelings of all characters. So I want you to first ask yourself, is it first person? And you should have already done this in NAG. Or is it third person? Okay, that's 1. 2, within third person, is it only knowing the thoughts and feelings of one character? Or does it know the thoughts and feelings of all characters or more than one? Okay. The reason why I want you to pay attention to this here is because when you look at your answer choices, first off, if I look at F, it says only Angie's actions and responses. So that would mean it's third person, but it only knows one character. And that's telling me that I only know Angie's. Where I look at H, H says only Martina's mother's thoughts and feelings. Again, that would be third person, but it would only be one character, right? So it would be third person limited. If I look at G and J, I have the events of the game as told by an outside narrator, still third person, but that doesn't tell me specifics about my characters. And then J, the actions and feelings of all characters. So that would be third person, all characters. So pay attention to all those keywords, please. So you should have completed R and AG, and we did Q, P for 1 through 4. We're going to check these off again on Friday when we do 5 through 8. Right, last thing is check. Please make sure you have your proof highlighted in your story, labeled, and make sure that you have your sillies labeled, your distractors labeled, etc. So on Friday, what we're going to do is you're going to go back to these pages, you're going to reread the story, and then I will read questions 5 through 8. All right, boys and girls, that concludes our Wednesday lesson. Some of you have not completed Monday's lesson or Friday's lesson or a lesson last week. I'm missing grades here and there. Please make sure that you are going back and completing the lessons that you did not complete, and you are submitting your answers on quizzes. I do not need any pictures anymore. Please submit them on quizzes. Also, please make sure that you are logging into Learning Farm for Reading on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That is how I will be taking participation grades and attendance. So make sure, or one of the ways in which I'm taking attendance. So please make sure Tuesdays and Thursdays you are not just sitting there doing nothing. If you're already caught up on lessons, you need to catch up on lessons. And if you're caught up on lessons, you need to make sure that you are doing Learning Farm.
So I'm sure most of you saw my TikTok. Most of you voted for me to make one, so I did. Thank you to my supporters who are saying that I did awesome. No, but anyway, so now I have a challenge, and I am going to, he doesn't know this, and he's going to be upset, but I have a challenge for Mr. V. Mr. V, you are to make the same TikTok video and do the dance better than I did. Challenge on. Go practice.
Right foot, now left foot. One hand. Two hands. Hit your rollie. Do your dance. Now leave.
Hey guys, it's Mr. V again. So today we're going to review adding and subtracting fractions, and we're going to get started with multiplying. There's two types of scenarios in which you have to multiply fractions, and so that's what we're going to learn on this one. So stay tuned. There's going to be a chance for you guys to earn a prize at the end of this video. So let's go and get started. Adding and subtracting fractions review. In scenarios in which you have to combine two fractions, or telling you to put two things together, or asking you what is the total altogether, you have to add the fractions. And in stories where it's asking you for what's remaining or what's left over, you have to subtract the fractions. When adding two fractions, when combining two things, you had to make the stories look the same. So here in our problem last week, I gave you a half and 3/5. I made the half into 5/10 and the 3/5 into 6/10, and I combined them into 11/10. And that's improper fraction, so you were supposed to make that into 1 whole and 1/10. Subtracting is very similar, so notice how I hit here. I'm looking for what's remaining from 3/5 minus 1/2. What do I have left over? So I go 5, 10, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's my common denominator. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 6/10 minus 5/10 equals 1/10. Okay, so that was a review. Now let's talk about multiplying fractions. Now remember that we remember how to multiply fractions by clapping our algorithm. Our algorithm is simple. So if you're multiplying a third 4 times, you make the 4 into a fraction, put the 1 under it, and you just multiply across. So 1 times 4 is 4, 3 times 1 is 3, which is improper. If you divide this, you're going to get 1 whole and 1/3. So this is a story in which you would have to multiply. Imagine having 4 cute little puppies like these, and they're thirsty, and so you have to give them some water in their bowl. Now the water that you're going to put in every single one of their bowls is 2/3 of a cup. So in every single water bowl, you're going to pour 2/3 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup. So you have 2/3 of a cup 4 times, because you're going to give 2/3 of a cup to one bowl, to another bowl, to another bowl, to another bowl, because you have 4 puppies. The question in the story would be, how much water will you be giving to these 4 adorable puppies? So as I said before, you're going to be multiplying in the story because you have 4 adorable puppies that need water, and you're going to give 2/3 to each. So the key word there is each is going 2/3. 4 of them are getting 2/3. So you put the 1 under it. You're going to multiply 2 times 4, which is 8. 3 times 1, which is 3. And you're going to divide. 8 divided by 3. Now 3, 6, 9. That's 2 full cups. 8 minus 6 is 2. 2/3. You're going to be giving the puppies 2 full cups and 2/3 of a cup. So imagine 2 full cups and 2/3 of a cup. That's how much water you would be giving to all 4 puppies. This is another type of story in which you have to multiply the fractions in order to answer your question. Another instance in which you would have to multiply is if you're looking for a part of a group. Right here, we're going to look for a half of a group of 8. Of in this type of story means to multiply. So if you're looking for a part of a group, you have to multiply across because of means to multiply in this scenario. So if a half of a group of 8 are girls, how many girls would you have? So if you have a group of people and it looks like this, it's easy for you to know how many are girls. But what if you don't have a picture looking like this? You have to do the algorithm. So I know I'm looking for a part of a group. A half of 8. In this case, a half of 8 means 1/2 times 8. You put the 1 under it, multiply across. 1 times 8, 2 times 1. Now 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. So 4 of the 8 is 1/2. So here you can clearly see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 girls in a group of 8 if 1/2 of them are girls. So basically there's 2 scenarios in which you have to multiply fractions. The first one is where you're providing or you're giving a fraction to multiple times. So in the puppy story, you had 2/3 of a cup, which is the part, and you're giving it 4 times because there's 4 puppies. So 2/3, 2/3, 2/3, 2/3. That's a part 4 times. So you multiply across to get what is the total of all 4. Now, the other scenario is when you're looking for a part of a group. So if you're looking for a part of a group, like we did with a half of 8, a group of 8, what is 1/2? Well, you multiply a half times 8 and you're gonna get 4. Now, I understand that a half of 8, that's easy to find out, but what if you're looking for something a little bit more confusing, like a third of 12? Well, you can use that algorithm to figure out that a third of 12 is 4 if I multiply a third times 12 across. So let's go ahead and see 4 different stories in which you have to decide whether you're multiplying or you're adding or subtracting, because we did that on Monday. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for the following 4 problems, I'm going to read them to you. You have to listen to me explain these problems because I'm going to be guiding you a lot on what to do. Not all of these are addition, not all of these are subtraction, they're not all multiplication. So you have to listen and think to figure out whether you're going to add, subtract, or multiply. The first story is this one. After hiring 24 new employees at the job fair, the owner of a restaurant decided to schedule a 4th of the new employees on Monday. How many employees are scheduled for Monday? Well, here you're looking for a 4th of 24 new employees. You're looking for a part of a group. The group is the employees, is the part, and the part is 1/4. So solve for 1/4 of 24. This is question number 2. So Alina is feeding breakfast to her puppy litter. Each puppy requires 1/5 of a can of dog food. This is a part of a can of dog food. And there are 8 puppies in the puppy litter. How many cans will Alina need for breakfast? Well, look, you're giving a part to each dog, and there's 8 dogs. So think about what you need to do in order to find how many cans will Alina need. Now this one is either adding or subtracting, okay? I'm gonna give you that clue. Lillian donated 5/7 of her paycheck to the local animal shelter. This is what we're dealing with, 5/7. The animal shelter used 1/3. If you're using 1/3 of another fraction to buy new dog tags, how much of Lillian's donations does the animal shelter have remaining? Go back to the beginning of the video to see what remaining tells you about a word problem. What do you need to do to the 5/7 and the 1/3 if you're using 1/3 of 5/7? This is your last problem, okay, for the 4 fraction problems. Farmer Bob harvested 1/5 of the apples from one tree on Monday and 1/2 on Tuesday. So if he harvests 1/5 of the apples, a part on one day and a part on another day, what fraction of the apples did Farmer Bob harvest between Monday and Tuesday? And is the key word here. They want to know what is the combined total of Monday and Tuesday. So think about whether you have to add or subtract. Finally, here is your UPSI for Wednesday. The new position available at a construction company pays $12.32 every hour. This is the information for 1 hour. The position offers 40 hours each week, so you don't know the total for all 40 hours. What is the total of money you can expect to earn? So go ahead and solve for that UPSI. The order of operations is 25.2 times bracket, parentheses 18 divided by 2, parentheses minus 3, bracket. The fraction says a pet store has 30 new puppies. That's a group of puppies, guys, and 1/5 of the new puppies are Chihuahua puppies. How many puppies are Chihuahua puppies? In order to find out how many, you gotta find what is the part of the group. Look back to your notes and to the things that we talked about in this video to find out how do I find the amount of puppies if I know that 1/5 of the new puppies, 1/5 of 30 are Chihuahua puppies. What do I need to do? Go ahead and send this work to me to the Google phone number, and I have one more thing to tell. All right, so those of you that have completed all of your lessons, so lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and have submitted all of your work, you have the chance to answer the riddle that I'm going to give to you right now, and you're going to submit it with your math work. And by Friday, I am going to choose a name randomly from the people that answer this riddle correctly, and you're going to win a $15 gift card to Amazon. So again, this is only for the people that have completed all of your lessons, that submitted all of your work from lesson 1 all the way to lesson 8. The riddle is this: Mary's dad has 5 daughters, Lily, Rose, Jackie, and Cindy. What is the name of the 5th daughter? So go ahead and answer, send me your answer, whatever you think the answer is to this riddle, if you have completed all of your work, if you submitted everything, and I'll choose a name on Friday. So good job, guys. I'll see you guys later.